While year one in the SEC for Oklahoma might be a bit tough, the future is actually very bright. Let me explain. Brent Venables recently inked a 6-year contract extension with Oklahoma this offseason, and that just shows the support that he has not just from the fan base, but from the school as well, and the direction that he's taking this Oklahoma program. The future is very bright. The recruiting is there all years of Brent Venables' career. They have had a top 15 recruiting class, and going to the SEC, you will see a slight bump in that as well. And in this new era of college football, the transfer portal is just as much important as high school recruiting, and they're doing good in there. They beat out LSU for Dominic Williams, the defensive lineman from TCU, and was a big part of that national championship team. Brent Venables is a defensive mastermind. Everyone knows that going back to his Clemson days as a DC. Noah Yasso seems had a ton of talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and especially in that receiver and quarterback room. Brent Venables' defense was a big reason why those Clemson teams ripped off 2 national championships. And he's looking to do the same in Oklahoma. And I think he's laying the perfect foundation and has laid the perfect foundation. And now they're just trying to build upon that. But now let's get into the biggest question for this Oklahoma team, not just this season, but going forward, and what their success will determine in the SEC. With Dylan Gabriel transferring to Oregon, Oklahoma turns its quarterback starting job to former 5-star recruit Jackson Arnold, who did start in the bowl game last year and wasn't that great, but he did show flashes and show plays of why he's such a highly touted recruit, why he has a lot of hype. Oklahoma's success will determine on Jackson Arnold, and I think this first year in the SEC will be some stumbles because Oklahoma just has such a tough schedule, but it will be great for Jackson Arnold and this Oklahoma program and staff going forward. This Oklahoma team this year might only win 7 games, but they will be one of the best 7-win teams that maybe we have ever seen. The schedule is just ridiculous, but there's a lot of talent here, not just on the coaching staff, but on the field and in that locker room. I think Jackson Arnold is going to show that he will be the best quarterback Oklahoma has had since they ran that run of Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, and Jalen Hurts. Now let's really get into this Oklahoma schedule. They're non-conference. They play Temple, Tulane, and Houston, and while those aren't really high-end teams that you would think of, Tulane has the foundation, and they play former Tulane coach and now Houston head coach Willie Fritz. And while Houston is going through a rebuild, that is still a Power 4 team. Now, Oklahoma's first SEC game is against Nico in Tennessee, and this one's interesting. Josh Heupel, Tennessee's head coach, is a former Oklahoma quarterback, and there's kind of been some weird feelings between the two going back to Josh Heupel's time there when he was a coach. And now we see 2 young quarterbacks between Nico and Jackson Arnold play. And I think this game, it's big for both teams. Tennessee is wanting to show that you're not going to come in here and run shop on the SEC. And Oklahoma's wanting to show they're not going to be a pushover in the SEC. And we're going to have 2 young, talented quarterbacks playing. I think there's a chance that this game is one of the games of the years, and I don't think it's getting talked about enough. And it doesn't stop there for Oklahoma, as in the very next week, they go to Jordan-Hare and take on Auburn. Hugh Freeze going to his second year at Auburn coach. I think Auburn's going to be a much better team this year. You can talk about their quarterback situation, but I think a second year with Peyton Thorne, I think Auburn's going to be much improved. Oklahoma should win this game, in my opinion, but their first road game in the SEC born at Jordan-Hare, the SEC really did them no favors here. And then we get the first official Red River Shootout SEC edition. Jackson Arnold's first start in this game, playing a Texas team with national championship aspirations. A lot of people may misremember, but Oklahoma actually won this game last year 34-30 in a really entertaining game. This game always delivers, and there's no reason it shouldn't this year. But I'm interested to see if Jackson Arnold in his first start can get Oklahoma another win in back-to-back years, or if Texas bounces back from the last year's loss and beats them. Remember, Texas is very much improved this year, but so is Oklahoma also. This game's going to be really interesting, but this just starts the hell that Oklahoma run is really in the middle of. Oklahoma then plays South Carolina, who I think they should beat, but then they travel to Ole Miss, and in my opinion, Ole Miss makes the college football playoff this year. I think Ole Miss wins this game, but I think it could be a fun, entertaining game, but I just don't think Oklahoma has the horses yet to beat this Ole Miss team. And then a couple weeks later, they travel to Missouri to take on Brady Cook and Luther Murden. And Mizzou has playoff aspirations this year. This Mizzou team is legit. This wasn't just a flash in the year one. Eli Drinkwitz has done a really good job in Missouri, getting high-level local talent to stay at Mizzou, obviously using NIL, and that has helped Missouri turn into a prominent program. They're getting there, and I think Oklahoma's going to have their work cut out for them. But by this time, Jackson Arnold will have his flow going, but I still think they'll just come up quite short against this Missouri Tiger team. And then this Oklahoma team finishes their year with Alabama and LSU. This schedule is ridiculously hard, and I think there's a good chance this Oklahoma team goes 6-6. There's a path to 8 wins, but I think 6-6, 7-5 is the more likely outcome for this Oklahoma team. But I think depending on how they look, I think you could really see what Brent Venables is doing, and he's just laying that foundation in this first year of this SEC for this Oklahoma Sooner program. If Oklahoma does go 6-6, I think you'll get a lot of hot takes out there from people trying to get a reaction in regards to why did they give Brent Venables this contract extension. But if you're really paying attention, and as sports conversations are, and most things in life are, there's nuance to this stuff. They're killing recruiting, top 15 class every year under Brent Venables. A hard schedule in their first year in the SEC with a first-time starting quarterback. While, yes, a very talented and hyped-up one, still, there will be a learning curve. I think Oklahoma is going to show that they are proven and ready to win in the SEC. Not this year. There will be glimpses of it, but starting in 2025 and beyond. Oklahoma is one of the most stable programs in college football history. They don't have a lot of down years. And even last year, made a bowl game, and that was considered a down year for Oklahoma. That's just how sustained winning that they are used to in Norman, Oklahoma. This Oklahoma program is going to be fine. They do great recruiting, and going to the SEC, that's only going to continue. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and turn post notifications on. And let me know down in the comments, what are your thoughts on Oklahoma's move to the SEC? How do you think they'll fare in year one? And how do you think they will look in the long term under Brent Venables in the SEC?